Who thinks they can name 5? Okay, so I got you, and you. Who could name 6? You could name 6. Does anybody want to outbid Samaj and say they can name 7 acting techniques? It could be a teacher, a school of thought, but they just can't repeat. Who can name 7? You could name 7? Who could name 8? Does anybody want to take her on? Take Anisha on. You think you got 8?
I'm going through my head.
Okay.
Keep talking and then I answer.
Okay, let's go with Anisha. Give me 7 different acting techniques.
S.H.I.E.L.D, Meisner, UCB.
UCB, what's that?
UCB, they have this very unique training there now.
Okay. Okay. Does that count?
Yes.
Okay, good.
They have their own. Judy Kane, she's can it be commercial?
She what?
Judy Kane, Kyra, it's called.
I want to stay, I mean, you can name some teachers who are so synonymous with their technique that we could name them. Like you said, Chubbuck, like you said, we can do that, but maybe not just every teacher. They got to be synonymous with a specific technique.
A very specific technique.
Yes.
Because I was thinking commercial and film.
No, let's stick with strictly with acting. Not that commercial isn't acting, but.
Well, I can't do 7. Well, T-Saw.
T-Saw is an offshoot of Ivana Chubbuck, though.
Yeah, you're right, they do Chubbuck.
I know, it's hard. It's hard.
IDSA.
Okay.
IDSA, they use, because I did train there too.
That's identity?
Yes.
Okay.
They have this, we had to do like 4 different courses in the conservatory program.
Okay. Okay. You got 4.
Help me out.
No. Okay. Okay. All right, you can repeat if you want. Where we at? Wait, we got to stay with. You got 8? Okay, go. 8. Okay.
I have Chubbuck, Meisner, Alexander, Gutowski, Linklater, Fitzmarie, Stanislavski, Strasberg, and Uda Hagen. So that's 9.
I think you said Uda Hagen twice. Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. There we go. There's 8. We're including what?
Including voice technique?
It is a fine line, but yes, I would say yes. Might as well. Yeah. Okay, so all of that was to say that even within those 8, there are 8 teachers within there that are going to teach you 8 different ways. There is that technique that is going to just send electricity through your being. And I honestly believe that it is our work at all times to find it. That's the most important thing of all time, as far as being a series regular or booking any acting job, to be 100% honest. Thank you so much for playing that game with me. Second question. Let's name all the differences between theater and television. Raise your hand if you have one. Let's just throw out all the differences. What are the differences? Okay.
Smaller screen?
Smaller what?
Screen.
Yeah, so let's say different venue, like different, so you're on stage versus, yes, smaller, what would we call that? Smaller, what? Scale. Boom, perfect word.
It's kind of along the same things, but bigger movement, bigger body on theater, with more intentional on film, smaller, more intentional.
So the space, let's call that the space.
Okay.
Great.
Prep time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Prep time.
Prep time. You have much less rehearsal time in television than in film.
I would say
Than in stage.
internal, external. You know, in film you're really internalizing because the camera's so close versus on stage you really have to externalize those emotions.
Okay, I would keep that as about in the space, but that's definitely a difference, yes?
Too much technical stuff going on when you were filming, like in between the shots and all of this stuff.
Right, so you raised a few different things, which is that in television you're interrupted versus on stage you got to get through the whole performance in one night. Right, and then also the opportunities for distraction. It sounds like what you're saying too. Perfect.
Projection of value is different.
Cool, we'll call that the space still. Cool.
Mine's closer to his, but it's more like pacing and continuous output, where you got to do takes as opposed to when you do theater, you're doing the whole scene.
Right, and the whole piece, right? There's 1 or 2 more that I don't think, there's probably an infinite amount, but 1 or 2 more that I want to talk about.
Well, with the film and TV, lines can change at any time.
Yes.
You have to be ready to,
Okay, so that's a big one.
yes.
So the material is amorphous, ever-changing, and unfinished. That's one of the hugest differences and things you need to know about acting for television, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute.
Chronologically?
Yes, yes, shooting out a sequence. Beautiful. And what do you need in order to compensate for that when you're doing television?
Your story confidence. You have to know every.
Your technique, I would say, yes, exactly. Beautiful.
There's more stakeholders in the television world.
There's more what?
Stakeholders.
Oh.
Like you are a product in
Yeah.
the television world, more so than in the theater world. There's many more people that are pulling at you
Facts.
in that world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Brilliant. Those are so good. So we talked about the space. We talked about in theater and in film, you essentially have a finished script. I define a character as the sum total of the things that the person you're playing does within the course of the material. But for television, you don't have all of the material. You might think one thing about your character and then learn something different in the same season or down the road. Why is that important? We'll talk about that in a second. Also, television is very plot-driven as opposed to theater, which is more character-driven. So you could do an entire season of television and maybe only talk about